Hallo, welkom by Farmspace. Reg, eerste veiling van die jaar, eerste Boran veiling van die jaar. Die collaboration auction, dit is saam met Hurwitz Farming en Hotspot. Ek staan hier met Simeon, altyd voorreg om hier te wees en die diere hier agter vir my. Kan jy maar self kyk, dit is iets spesiaals om te sien. Ons sou hoor bietjie hoe die twee wonderlike stoete, brand ambassadors amper van die Borane, saamkom, saamwerk en so 'n veiling by mekaar kom. Kom luister saam. Simeon, hoe gaan dit?
Very good, Dennis. Thank you. Welcome back. Nice to have you.
Always great to be here. Nice and green for a change here in Darfur, and it must be great seeing the rain coming through.
And less windy.
And less windy.
Yeah, it's been a good season. It had its challenges a little bit in the beginning, but yes, it's a good season and nice to see it nice and green.
Yeah. Simeon, two brands like Hurwitz Farming, Hotspot coming together in the same auction. Competitors, but friendly competitors, and hoping for the other one to do well as it advances the breed. But putting an auction together must be complicated between the two.
Not really, to be honest, Dennis. It's actually been a pleasure. It's been a total pleasure working with Stompie and with Ellery from our side. I'm sure from their side as well. There's been nothing to argue about. Every suggestion that's been thrown around between us, it's just been a yes, 100%, let's go for it, let's do it. So it's not really a competition. The idea is that it's a collaboration. I mean, obviously we know Stompie, we know Ellery, we know Orchid, Stompie's father-in-law for many years. As I said, previously, we bid against each other, we bought from each other, and we were on council together on the Drought Masters as well. So it's a friendship, but it's a business, it's an industry, and I think that the sale will have a very nice atmosphere to it, being a collaboration. Stompie's picked out some good animals. We've certainly picked out some good animals. But at the same time, we both try to balance the sale for everybody. It is the first sale of the year. Limited offering of bulls, only 4 bulls on the sale. But having said that, I think altogether it's been a nice team effort, team spirit, and hopefully something that we kickstart the year off on a high note as a Boran breed.
That friendly competition does force you to pick some of your best, because two stats at the end of the day you want to look after your brands at the end of the day. But you've got 2 auctions. Stompie's got an auction. Difficult to put a package together this early in the year. But what did you put together for us?
Well, Dennis, with or without competition, I think both of us are known to put quality animals on sales. I think the results have spoken for themselves. There must always be on an auction animals that you really hate to part with and don't want to part with. But at the same time, you must have confidence in your own herd to replicate or to produce something different, better, or on some sort of level. So I think that's been a good quality that's run deep between both herds up until now. This particular sale, quite right. There are some standout animals. I mean, if I think about our particular herd, there's the Kelly. That I know Kelly comes through all the time, but I mean, it's generational Kellys that are starting to speak. But if I look at the Kelly in particular, lot 15, with her bull calf at foot from Casanova, we called him Kingpin because I think he's got such a future within the Boran breed. Now, when I look at that and we discuss it, that's taken 12 years of the best, literally, the best cattle this entire farm and properties had thrown together within this Boran breed. And it's come together and amalgamated into one auction offering and one package. So I'm exceptionally excited about that. And then there's also an animal out of 2 Screws. It's the very first time 2 Screws has a funny story behind it, but it's really a BO598's full sister. So it's the first time that we are offering genetics out of that particular motherline. We've got 2 Netstar calves at foot. I mean, and all the way through from lot 1 till the end, we've handpicked this auction to balance the sale. And what's also quite nice is that between Stompie and I, we've alternated the lots. So it goes Hurwitz Hotspot, for example, all the way through to the end. And again, just showing that it's not a competition, it's a collaboration.
Yeah, as it should be within the breed. Stompie said as well, if it goes well with you and with him, then the breed does well, and that's enough. What it's about. The guys working together to grow a breed. The bulls on sale. You always put forward something special. What are we looking at?
We've got 3. Stompie's only got the 1. So Stompie said to me, if you've got another one, then he's happy to just give another spot away and put 3 on the sale. So we've got 3, I think, very good bulls, something different. All of them are different animals. For me, the standout of them is Sutton. I think he's an exceptional bull with a little bit different genetics that can really be an attraction to the stud market. I think he's balanced, muscular, well put together. His figures are right. I think just that's an out-and-out stud sire. The Born Pool out of Hublot, his name is Neptune, out of a tremendous motherline, QT0701. She was a top producer in this stud. And then the last bull on the sale that we've got is another bull. We named him Keating, but he's also different genetics. He's out of the Latika line, going back to the Keith Pinekey's herd. So I think he's also excellent. He's a bigger framed bull. He's almost 900 kilograms. So I think, as I said, all three bulls have got something different to offer. And then Stompy's bull, very proven as far as genetics is concerned. Yep. So, at this time of year, it's not the easiest time to be selling bulls. Certainly not everybody's fancy to buy a bull now in February. But there's always a time and there's always a market for a stud bull with X factor that's going to add value. There is still some runway left within the breeding season. So people can still buy the bull, throw it straight into their particular cows, catch up those that haven't taken from their first round of bulls, do some ARs if they want to, do some flushing programs. There's still plenty of time for that. So there is still time left for the bulls on offer to have an impact in this coming breeding season.
They can work a little on the green grass, and then they can have time to adapt to the end of the year.
Absolutely. And that's been a quality of our herd for years now, is the adaptation of the animals. So, they literally jump off the bucky and they're hammering the next day.
So I have to. Simeon, you're putting up a night auction for the first time here at the Boering. I know there's one or two surprises. People have to come and see what the surprises are. I know one or two, so I'm very I'm looking forward to it. But it makes for something special. You guys are doing a potjie course competition. It creates a different vibe, and it's something special at the end of the day.
Yes, the Boering, I think, has been lending itself towards a nighttime sale forever. After our normal production sales and people stick around afterwards, it always turns into a nighttime draw. And the atmosphere inside that building is really something to behold and to witness. So we've always toyed with the idea we must have a nighttime sale. It should be good. It should be that. But we're also seeing that the concept of nighttime sales is starting to take off a little bit within the Boran specifically. I know the Brahmins also did it a few years ago. So I think the venue is going to be nice. And then during the day people are coming. It's a long way to come. So we've got entertainment lined up throughout the course of the day. We do have the potjie course competition. And I think the potjie course competition is generating more interest than the cattle on offer. I can't believe it, actually. The minute you mention to somebody potjie course competition, the eyes light up in stars. So that's really going to be something quite unique. Then the entertainment in the afternoon, which is keeping under hat for now. Then the auction. And then, there's always a bit of a draw afterwards. But that said, from our side, as hosts of the sale, we need to look after people, their safety as well. So we're also going to be doing complimentary shuttles running up and down from Bethel. So people don't have to be worried about drinking and driving. You can leave the car here overnight. You can leave the car there. There's security. And we'll be, shuttling people up and down from the airport as well. And really trying to look after people as they come and participate, hopefully online, at least in present. And then obviously we've got the online factor with Meerkat.
Meerkat, as always. Plus you have a big plus accommodation for those that will be buying. Free accommodation and discounted for the rest that are here for to look or to learn or to whatever they might be doing here. At the end of the day, I've learned a lot just by attending them. They might as well come do the same thing. Speak to fellow breeders and farmers. At the end of the day, probably one of the best places to learn is where there's quality cattle at an auction, because these guys are discussing them in depth and they're sitting there. And if you're wanting to buy into this breed, this is probably the way to do it.
I think so. I think it's a flagship sale. It's certainly an iconic sale, and hopefully it'll pull together between the two breeds and do really well. And then, yes, the idea is to look after people, because they're coming to look after your cattle and buy them and bid on them and observe them and learn from them. So as you said, correct, there's the discounted accommodation, which is pretty standard for all of our auctions. We're also going to be offering complimentary accommodation for the buyers that have come to the sale that are going to participate. Door-to-door cattle transport afterwards. We're still working on insurance for that. So the animals will be insured and actually drop them off on your farm. So it is a smaller offering, only 34 lots on the sale, but it's a unique offering. And therefore, the little extra mile that Stompy and I are prepared to go to in order to accommodate the cattle and the people, we will definitely do. And that's what I said. It's been great working with them.
So, I want to just move away from the auction for a second and talk to you as a farmer and as a businessman.
Yep.
The Boran is part of your farming operation. I know that you probably, like all good businessmen, have different departments in your head, and our finances go. You've got about almost 1,000 around commercial cattle on the farm.
Yeah.
Being profitable as a commercial farmer, not just a stud farmer, is that working for you? Is that part of the plan? Can you honestly say that today Yeah, I'm standing here as a commercial farmer, and this is working for me.
Yes, absolutely yes. I mean, if it wasn't, we wouldn't be doing it. I mean, we can have passion up to a point, but at the same time, there has to be economic sense behind it. So the 1,000 animals you referred to, that's a commercial herd of actually embryo recipients. So out of all the animals on the farm, those 1,000 animals get treated and pampered and looked after the best because they're carrying the future generation via genetics. But in terms of total quantum of cattle, you know, there's touching on 5,000, give or take, animals running around on this property, heavily overstocked, as we know. But, you know, the Boran allows us to stretch the envelope a little bit, but it certainly makes economic sense for us. We commercially ranch these animals throughout the breeding season, thereafter into the winter type of grazing rotational plan here, through then into the feedlot, which we have. So we really integrate the whole product through a commercial beef chain. Back into, you know, we had a retail operation as well, which has just gone quiet since COVID, but that's Hurwitz beef. But yes, absolutely. The Boran certainly plays its part. It crossbreeds beautifully. So we crossbreed with the Drought Master. We did crossbreed a lot with other types of European breeds over the few years, but now we've really found the golden ticket, I think, with that Droughty Boran cross. Superb. Absolutely superb. So yes, on a commercial scale, these animals do well. On a stud sale, we've been privileged to have a few good sales in the last couple of years. The genetics, the animals, the marketing, and the goodwill, I think, behind the brand, certainly people are respecting and are willing to participate in. So ultimately, it's a leg of the entire Hurwitz farming business, but it's a leg that's doing well. But at the same time, it has its challenges. It employs a lot of staff. It has moving parts, vehicles, horses, etc., like anything else. But up until now, we're very lucky to be with this breed.
And you take that through all the way to the feedlot, and the feedlot, I know you look at your numbers on a regular basis, and that makes sense at the end of the day for you, and you buy bulls back that from people that buys from you at the end of the day, and that sort of complements the whole business.
Yes. That concept has definitely taken off. People phone us regularly to say that we bought the bull from you now or a few years ago, etc. We've got calves for sale, so we give them slight premium on that. So that little reciprocity and that goodwill, which is the word I said earlier, has played its part very well. And then, yes, the culls from our herd go into the feedlot, like any stud operation will have. Some of the injuries, some of the other problems, and then also just, you know, thinning out to keep the best and ranch and follow and farm with the best that you have. So the feedlot has its filter system within the stud, within the commercial side, and we feed them up through. They do very well for us under the method that we feed them. Very, very well. And then they slaughter out very nicely. We've got customers that pay us a premium for our Boran carcasses because they want them. So that's also a nice add-on to have. So all in all, the Boran has its place for sure.
And you've made it work.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you very much. I can't wait for the 3rd of Feb. I think it's going to be a cracker, and I can't wait for just the overall feeling and the togetherness we always have here at the Hurwitz.
Thank you, Tinus. And obviously we invite everybody to be with us, but we're going to be quite strict this time on our attendance. So we do ask people to pre-register on our website, which is boranauction.co.za. Fill out the form, pre-register, so that we know who's coming, we can cater correctly, we can accommodate correctly. So a little bit different, but we do ask people to please just spend 3 seconds on your phone or on your iPad, etc. Just fill out the little template and come and enjoy the day with us.
Use the auto form.
That's also.
Thanks, Simeon.
Sure.
Okay, be sure to be here on the 3rd of February. We're going to start here at 10 o'clock that morning. I think already the first potjies will be going. So if you want to be here for the whole day, or you want to take part in the potjie competition, there's still space for you. Maybe you've got that special curry recipe that can go a long way. Otherwise, come through, buy some of the best genetics in the Boran breed, and don't miss out. There's some new genetics available. You do not want to miss out. See you there.